Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us here. It's a wonderful, wonderful day in the neighborhood. So, I'm Jesse, and I'm joined tonight by three of our six other members that, how many? Is it five
There's
other?
7 of us, so whatever
There's
that
seven
math.
of us.
Yeah.
I
Three
can't do the
other
math
members.
here. That's right. So we've got Jenna. Jenna is at Walt Disney World. Jeff is gallivanting about making things happen. And I don't know where Nicole
Like
is.
galloping around. She had to put her little baby to bed, so she was with us in the last segment. But it's late
Excellent.
on the East Coast.
Yes,
That's the
it
hard part
is.
because we are all over the country. So we have
Yes.
3 different time zones, if not 4. So that makes it a little tricky.
4.
Do we have 4?
Yeah.
Do we? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so when we coordinate this, it's funny because then we have to figure out which time zone is where, that kind of thing. So, speaking of being all over the country tonight, we want to talk to Nikki just because we know, Nikki, you went somewhere special last week.
Yes, I did. I was at the Disney 100 celebration, and it was as amazing as you think it was.
I am
and we got to go to like
jealous.
the VIP stuff too beforehand. And the coolest part, honestly, I obviously have never been a cast member for Disney, but they let the cast members come in and see it. And the president of Disneyland gave a speech both nights, and it was really cool to be a part of that and see how much they love their cast members too. So, on top of everything else, that was cool.
That's awesome.
At all. Like not even a little bit.
Yeah. So, Kit, before we go any further, really quick, just for those of you out there that might not know what the Disney 100 is or what it even means, anybody want to take a stab at this?
Yeah, so the Walt Disney Company was started in 1923. That's why you'll see the 1923 restaurant on the Wish. Like you'll see, people relating to that. And that's why 100 years of the Walt Disney Company. So not 100 years of Disneyland yet. Right. I mean, at first I was kind of confused because I was like, I was at the 50th and how old am I? But yeah, so 100 years of the Walt Disney Company. And someday we'll be at the 100 of Disneyland, I'm sure. But they're starting it there because, that is where a lot of the magic started.
That's awesome. Yeah, so no better place to celebrate the Disney 100 than to be in Walt Disney's original Magic Kingdom. So how was it? From a standpoint of just the overall feeling, excitement, vibe.
So Disneyland is always, my happy place. So I walk in and already have that vibe, but even more so, they had like older characters out that we haven't seen. Like I saw the penguin from Mary Poppins walking around. Like you don't see that all the time. I got a picture with Geppetto, which he has been making more experiences, but they really are like pulling out. The night show itself represents every single Disney movie. So even like Home on the Range, Treasure Planet, like movies that you really don't think of, even though they're on your Disney Plus subscription, they're all on there. So it was really cool to just see it all come together and really celebrate all of the accomplishments of the Walt Disney Company. So, the magic is always there, but it definitely is even more so in these nighttime shows and bringing back, all the memories of things that you haven't thought about for a while, but were in your childhood.
Absolutely. So I would ask, I want to ask you, personally, because I heard this and saw pictures of it, but one of my all-time favorite characters, not that old in the Disney Company, relatively still new, but one of my favorite characters is Baymax.
Yes.
Tell me where do we see Baymax?
So Baymax, actually, I had heard rumors of it before the show, and I was like, okay, that's just like one of those things that people say, right? No, Baymax flies over the castle. They have like the Immortal song playing. I think that's the words. If it's not, don't quote me. No, I'm like questioning. It is, right?
It is. Yes, it's Fall Out Boy.
Okay, I'm like, everyone's like, yeah, what is it really? Yeah, so they play that song. The castle turns into looking like San Francisco. And then Baymax, takes off over the castle and back with his like jetpacks. And it's one thing to have like little petite Tinkerbell. It's another to have freaking Baymax going across the
Yes,
so
yes.
that was pretty cool. And then also, not too many spoilers, but there is another character that flies over too, and it's not Tinkerbell. So that's pretty. I mean, you get two. Like you expect one, and you're like, wow. Then the second one, you're like, wait, am I seeing things?
Are you going to tell us before the night ends? Do we get to know before?
No,
they
don't
say
tell me.
We have to
Come
go.
on. Okay, yes.
I
All right,
will
fine
say
then. Fine
it
then.
was one that I actually got wrong at first. I thought it was Merryweather from Sleeping Beauty because it's Sleeping Beauty's castle. That is not who it is once you like zoom in on the video. So
really? Okay, so
pretty cool.
All right.
They really, I mean, that's Julie Andrews narrating the 50th and the Remember Dreams Come True. I mean, that like hits you like smack in the feels. This is just as good, if not better. So that's saying something.
Well, I think
have a
it's
question.
Yeah.
Do we think that Baymax will be flying when the fireworks are not going, like during the regular nighttime production shows? Do you know? Did they say anything about that?
So are they taking? I don't actually know the answer to that because are they not playing the 100 every night? Have they announced that?
I don't think they do fireworks unless it's.
Well, I think the 100 is changing that.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's good to know.
And I tried to look
Good
into it for a client, and I couldn't see anything. Which I mean, all I have to do is look at the park hours. Now that I think about it, but I don't. We'll have to check on that. I'm not sure. I would guess that they're still going to do. I don't know.
Sure.
I would
So, well, you know what?
Friday, Saturday.
So we do have a couple of
look at the app and see.
We do have a couple of agency fams coming up. So we are going to have, we're going to be experiencing the Disney 100 celebration at Disneyland.
Yep.
And really quick, just to shift gears, I know for those of you watching for Walt Disney World, there will be the Disney 100 celebration here too. When I say here, I'm here in Central Florida and near Walt Disney World. So that's what I mean by here.
We did ask a question on that when we were at our sales because like people have been like, is it the second, the 50th ends? Are we jumping into the 100? And that is not the case. So,
so we get a little bit of a gap.
Like a transition.
Interim, and then everything's
okay.
Hype up.
I think some of the merchandise has made its way over.
I mean, they're going to be selling their merch the whole time. And I also was told that the merch is going to change throughout too. Wow. So they're going to keep it fresh is what we were told. So
that's kind of like what they did with the 50th. They keep coming out.
We're still seeing new stuff.
So I believe I've got a picture of some of the merchandise or one piece of merchandise that people will probably go crazy over here in the next couple of months. I think so. So we'll have to see. Just like you're going to keep me in suspense, I think I'm going to keep you in suspense. But I think it's your picture.
Your silver
so
ears with the purple bow are sold out.
Okay. Well, then that's probably not.
But not the hat.
The drip hat.
No, not that one. That one I don't. So that was the weird thing is like they showed us like all the merch and then there's like another merch collection. Like there's like the 100 like purple, silver, yada, yada, yada. And then there's like the drip stuff. And then there's a whole other line that's like retro. And then like when I was at Art of Animation, they pulled out, so like 2 weeks before they pulled out like, this was a sweatshirt design from 1970 something. Like, I don't know what's going on. There's just lots of cute stuff.
There's a lot. So bring an empty suitcase and
or just buy a suitcase because they have cute suitcases to buy too.
And take out a loan.
Credit card.
Yes. Important thing.
Make sure you have your credit ready. So, I think one of the things that, when we talk about Disney and we talk about Disney 100 and even if you are not as big of a Disney fan, I think we can all say, the Disney company has affected each of us in some different way. And I mean, me personally, the reason I am or do what I do is because of Disney. And the reason we live in Central Florida is because of Disney. I think it's amazing, to celebrate a company that has affected millions and over spans of generations. But, as we look at, it's fun for us because we don't just talk about the parks and something to do, but how it creates those memories, those lasting memories we have. So you were there with our agency owner, Carrie Dillon. Yes. So, you got to you team up and be the dynamic duo in Disneyland. Yes. So I think, I'm going to go ahead and switch this over here to, let's do it this way. There we go. That's a little better. So you got invited out to Disneyland and
which was so surreal.
Really cool.
So I will say too, so Marvelous Mouse Travels is a diamond agency. So that's the top of the Disney destinations thing, and not even all diamond agencies got invited out, which was crazy. So it was really us and I think 6 other agencies. So it was like such an exclusive thing that I totally felt like way out of my element. But the things we got to see and do and experience firsthand was just absolutely amazing. And it's just one of those, those special things with Marvelous Mouse Travels, because then I came back and, shared my tips and stuff with all the TAs in the group and the pictures and everything. So that was really such a unique experience for our agency to be able to be part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, because it was a special event, right? There's things you get to do that not everybody gets to do. What was your favorite of those things? Like, what was the coolest thing?
Oh my gosh. So it kind of hit me. I'm like all about the fields tonight, I guess. So when I was younger, I won't say how old because I had some agents asking me. When I was younger, I went to the 50th anniversary of Disneyland, and I remember standing in front of the castle with my grandma, my mom. Like, Disneyland has always been such a special thing for my family, and I remember standing there and being like, "This is so amazing, the coolest thing!" Like, because at that age, I had no idea. You still believe in the magic. You don't even think about how it's there. It's just there.
Yeah.
And I remember like the "Remember Dreams Come True" song and everything. Like, it's still on my playlist. So then we walk in to our Disneyland event, and they have like this section that we were standing in when I was little, and it's all barricaded off. And it's like they like bring in these hedges, so it just, of course, it's Disney, right? So it doesn't look off, and you have to like show your credentials to get back behind this barrier. And when you walk in there, it's like all lit up, and you can just go get churros or Mickey pretzels or anything. And all the characters there, like, it was the most surreal moment. Like, honestly, we went on the Wish, and like that was cool, but that moment was just like so surreal. Like, little kid Nikki inside me was just freaking out, and I mean, honestly, I was too. So
that's awesome.
I love
all
that.
the girls, all the pretzels. It was like just
the fields and all the pretzels.
Like, I mean, Disney's what brought us in, right? So for me, it was Disneyland for sure. And so seeing that in that special space was just crazy.
So really, so this picture that we have displayed here, where is this at in Disney? Is this Disneyland Hotel?
No, so they actually set up like a special like pictures section for us in the Grand California. It was in like one of the ballrooms.
Oh, wow.
So they had all the merch to look at. They had all of these like cute photo ops. It was fun. It was fun to walk around and do all that with Carrie, and it was cool. It was a fun day.
Awesome. That's really cool. So I'm going to just keep going here. So we need to talk about this because this is huge, right?
Huge.
So we have this, and by we at Walt Disney World, I'm going to keep.
You can own it. That's fine. You're close enough.
We already have this at Walt Disney World. We have this at Hollywood Studios, but this is a new addition to Magic Kingdom Park at Disneyland. So this is back in Toontown. And tell us about this. I mean, the attraction itself, like, was it different than what we have in Walt Disney World?
So it's such a different thing. So like you said, it's back in Toontown. Toontown has kind of been like, I mean, sorry to say it, kind of the forgotten land for a little bit. I think Colleen can agree with that. It needed some paint. It needed some love, and it's finally getting it. And I was so worried for the longest time they were going to get rid of it, because it is one of my favorite spots in the park. It is so unique to go back there and see all the characters' houses and stuff. But it did need an attraction besides Roger Rabbit, because I will not ride Roger Rabbit. So it definitely needed this. It is a little different. It has a scene that's different. That's all I'm going to say, because it's enough to make you go, wait, do we have this? Or have we seen this? Like, so it's really, really cool. The biggest difference is it's a new build. So they got to do everything new. And the queue line to get up there is awesome. So the queue line to get up, and of course, like, this front thing is so cool too. You can't see it in this picture, but there's actually a crosswalk leading up into it, like you're actually going to a theater. So it's all going to look so good when it's all unveiled. But the queue line has so many like little Easter eggs going through it. It has all of the old cartoons. Like, my kids have been really in on Disney Plus, like watching all the cartoons from like the 50s, which is kind of funny. So it was fun to go through that queue and be like, oh, the How to Fly scene. And Carrie was freaking out because there was like some stuff from when she was little, like it was like some dance
disco.
I don't know, but it's so fun to see that. I turn the corner and there's like Toodles, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's the mouse tool today? And then all the way through, you go up to like Roadster Racers, and they had all the trophies. So I think it's gonna be. I mean, it was fun to go through by myself, but I think it's gonna be really fun to go through with friends of like my same era, as well as like my kids, and watch them like freak out about all the little things. But then also you get to the concessions area. It's obviously fake concessions, but you're in like a theater, and like the popcorn has like little Mickey and Minnie heads that are popping.
That was so cool.
So crazy. Like I was like totally freaking out about that. And that was so cool. If you haven't seen that video on TikTok and Instagram, definitely go see it. I'm trying to think what else. And then the rest of them, like they had some Powerline candy bars. They had your cheese and nacho cheese. Like they had like all sorts of just funny jokes and things that it was really well done. It was awesome. The cash registers actually have like Mickey Mouse's birthday. If you look at the numbers, like there's just so many little things. But yeah, so it's the line queue is different. The ride itself is pretty much the same, which it does change every time. So it kind of makes you wonder if it's the same, right? Because you don't know which room you're going to get into, but it's still just as amazing. I love that ride.
Watching your post made me more excited for the line than anything else.
Yeah, seriously, it was so fun, right? Because like you have to wait in the line anyways, so you might as well have something to look at.
Yeah.
But that queue is, I mean, I pushed out more content about the queue than the actual ride. So that should tell you something.
So I love this attraction in Walt Disney World. And one of the things I, think is amazing about it. And look, for those of you who are diehard, I will call you MGM Studios fans because you were the ones that loved before they changed Hollywood Studios. For those of you that love the Great Movie Ride, we lost Great Movie Ride and they replaced Great Movie Ride and put Runaway Railway there. And, of course, so we actually enter our theater and what you can see from this picture, our theater is the replica Grauman's Chinese Theater, whereas you have like this marquee style old,
well, it's supposed to look like the theater in Toontown, right? It's like you have City Hall right behind it. Like it's so cool to watch how they integrated the whole thing.
They and here's a fun fact. So for those of you that don't know this attraction in Walt Disney World and now in Disneyland, these are the only two attractions that feature Mickey Mouse. And that,
took a long time.
How in the world? Years. We've had 50 years of Disney World, and we've had 65 years of Disneyland. It's really crazy to think about that. But so you have this. I love this ride. I think it's really fun. I think it got overshadowed a little bit, because it did open right before the pandemic in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, we opened literally the week before because I was down there for the opening and I was so excited to talk about it, and then I couldn't talk about it to anybody because I was the only one that was
it was like kind of taboo for like the other agency. Obviously I wasn't there, but some of the other agency owners were, and then Carrie, and it was kind of like taboo to talk about because they kept being like, remember last time we were at this? Remember what happened the next week? And I didn't even realize it was that close. But they're like, do we get hyped about this? Like maybe we wait a week before we say anything. Not end well.
It's but it's good to see that they have this, and I think it's going to be a great addition to Disneyland, and one of the ways to kick off the 100 celebration. So here, tell me about this.
You people and your popcorn buckets and sippers. It's a sipper that I actually did not purchase. I asked someone to take a picture of their sipper that they were so proud of because the line probably would have been 3 hours to buy.
It's insane.
So it's really, really cute. You can probably find it on Mercari for a really good price. It is one of the, I'm pretty sure it's a sipper. See, I didn't buy it, but it's really cute.
Yeah. So I do love the poison apple. That's
you can buy it on the Dumbo cart in Fantasyland.
And I like all the platinum on everything.
What?
Yes.
I like all the platinum on everything.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty.
Yeah, so I love the ticket, that you got, the Disney 100. Definitely.
And people ask about the tickets too, like where do you get tickets? When you go through the turnstiles at Disneyland, you will get a ticket.
Yep.
You'll scan your thing and then they print out a paper ticket still. So that's a question I've gotten asked a lot on this picture. So just throw that out
now,
there. Get the souvenir.
Now, I would like to interject. I know this is not Disney 100, but this is related because we're talking tickets. Have you had a chance to use Magic Band Plus at Disneyland?
I'm supposed to be positive. I did. I used it. I spent $50 on the really cute band. I then put it in my backpack because it's not helpful at Disneyland.
Now, do you think? Now, I know this is all conjecture.
Too, but
no, hey, this is candid. We want to know these things.
So I think eventually they'll get there. Like they redid all the keypads in the hotel. So we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel. They redid all the things on the door. So I was like, oh, can I use my magic band? No, you can't. You go to Disney World, you like scan it, it goes green, it's so happy, it like welcomes you. Disneyland, you show them your thing and they hit you with their phone and you walk in. So it's like not magical. Your phone is actually easier to use because it's all in the app and everything.
Great information.
In the app.
Yeah. So do you think we'll get there? I mean, I know
I'm hoping so. I really am hoping the concept of it, like bringing it like at the same time though, and maybe it's just me. I'm not an avid magic band person, probably because I grew up Disneyland. I went to Disney World. I have my magic bands. I just use my phone because I'm already on it for Genie and everything.
You're kind of forced to, right? Especially
so I mean, it's cool. They have really cute ones. They are more expensive in Disneyland than they are in Disney World.
Yeah.
You're over $50 for a magic band if you buy it there. So buy them on Shop Disney first. You can use them. So some of the rides you could use it, like had the like scan in pretty green to use for your lightning lane.
What about for ride photos? Yes, no.
So like did it pick it up? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, were you able to use it for that?
Hold on, I'll tell you. I think so. I honestly have. That's the thing. When we go on these events,
it was a whirlwind.
So, like, we went on Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that photo, so it may have just not picked it up. Hold on, sorry. It did not pick up any of my pictures. It may just be that it was a fluke. We went on 2 rides. They didn't get it. I don't know. It did not pick them up. It did light up during World of Color. So that's cool. If you're into that, that's cool. Nice. It did do that.
Yes. So the haptics worked. Just speaking from being a Walt Disney World fan and right here, I love the functionality of our magic bands. Even as a pass holder that's local, I use my magic band.
It's kind of have to at Disney World, right? Like it's kind of always been a thing.
It's great. So definitely that's one thing that Walt Disney World does better, I think. And hey, that might make a good segment for us to talk about, in the future.
Disneyland is just late to the game on this. Like I feel like magic bands were awesome pre-smartphone. When you didn't use your phone for your tickets, you didn't use your phone, you went and got fast passes or you pre-scheduled. Like Disneyland is just like 10 years late to the game, if you ask me. So
it's funny hearing you talk about
using my phone. And like even like at Disneyland, you scan your app. Like your app has a barcode, you don't put it in your mobile wallet. Like it's completely different technology where I don't know.
Well, I hope they get there because hearing you talk about it reminds me, it was, I think, pretty recently in Facebook memories. Those are always fun, right? But one of them popped up and I was like, I hate magic bands. It was when they first
I used
came
to
up.
post in 2010, like, oh my gosh, take away my keyboard.
So so thinking back and now I'm like, I love my magic band.
Right.
Like I love it. But my first trip with it was right when they first came out. And I was so mad that I wrote on it, on Facebook.
I mean, I hope so. Like I said, I have 2 of them sitting here that are not cheap. It's cool. I think for kids,
they cross
it would be
parks,
really,
right?
yes. And you actually have to relink them. So you technically could have someone else use it in Disneyland than Disney World, just so you know. I will say, like, for kids, my 4-year-old is almost old enough that she needs that kind of thing. But, if you're going with a kid that's, like, in between of, like, they can go do things, but they don't have a phone, Magic Band is an awesome thing for them to have. Because that's going to have their ticket. That's going to have their fast passes. It's not going to work with payments at Disneyland.
Sure.
Okay.
So that's another thing, right? Like at Disney World, that's awesome. Like you give your kid your PIN and you don't have to like give them your debit card every time you go somewhere. Like that's huge. They don't have that functionality at Disneyland yet.
Right. Right.
Well, I think the difference there too
Maybe-
is that it's only for on-site guests at Disney World, and there's so many more resorts and so many more
Right.
people utilizing that
Right.
versus Disneyland. So,
Which it should be the perk though, because there is only
Mhm.
3. So I'm hoping,
right.
like I said, the keypads. I mean, I'm no techie person, right? But it's the same black box with the circle. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping that means that eventually, because I do love, like when I'm hauling my 2 kids, I'm sure you've seen pictures. I love being able to be like, oh, my door's open and not have to dig for a room key. So
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that's coming. That's a huge thing. You wouldn't think it is, but once you've had it, it's really nice.
Well, I can tell you, I definitely love the ticket, the old ticket style, turnstile, tear the ticket type of
Mhm.
thing at Disneyland. But I remember, when we went out last year as a family, we were just so used to the connectivity of everything
it's
between
so
the
different.
hotel and the park. So definitely different. But I'd imagine people are going to want to get their hands on these tickets anyways, these paper tickets,
Yeah.
just to keep them.
I do love that they do them still. Like
Yeah.
there is just something about holding that paper ticket. It's kind of like sometimes I'll get a paper boarding pass in the airport for no other reason besides the fact that it's kind of fun still. When I'm
And
like
there's a
flying
bunch
to
of
Europe, I'm
different-
like, I need my paper ticket.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different designs too, right? So like each day or everyone could potentially get a different one. So that's it's almost
Well,
like you're
And
going
I
to collect
have
them.
from like all the way back too. Like, they've changed them forever. So I keep all of my tickets, but I hope they don't get rid of that.
Well, overall, just want to ask, looking forward to Disney 100. Is there anything big? Is something that you would tell somebody that's visiting, Disneyland for the Disney 100, or if they're coming to Walt Disney World or whatever? I mean, like what are we looking forward to? Anything? I mean, besides we've talked about Runaway Railway.
So, Toontown is gonna reopen. Colleen, what day does it reopen?
We'll be there,
March
right?
8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
And I'm really
March
excited
8th.
for
So
this
that's
one.
gonna be.
Yeah.
They were like, "What is there still to see?" I'm like, "Oh, there's so much to see. I can't wait for you guys to go." Like, I only got to see a teeny tiny portion of it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. And then the parade is gonna come back, or it might be a new one. I need to check. I think it's like an. Is it the old one, but they like redid some parts of it, right?
Right. It's the
They,
one
like,
that never got
updated.
released.
It's like
really
okay. I'm
because
like
of
it's
COVID,
like
yeah.
both things. It's gonna be really really cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited to have like an actual parade back. That's gonna be because we just kind of haven't had that for a while.
Right.
With everything fun of 2020. The nighttime shows are absolutely incredible. World of Color 1 was it was very, very windy. Like, I don't think if we wouldn't have been like a special group that they were hosting, I think they would have canceled the show. It was that windy and cold.
Wow.
So a lot of it literally blew away. Like the president of Disneyland was like at our meeting the next morning and he was he's like joking about how he talked to some people and like, oh, I didn't know he cut that scene. And they're like, we didn't cut the scene. It blew away.
Oh.
It's like, so I didn't really get to see the whole thing. So I feel like for it to be as cool as it was and it was literally blowing away, I can't wait to see
Like the
when
full.
it's actually there. Like there's this Marvel segment where Thor comes in and just like shuts it all down.
Oh,
So
wow.
cool.
That's
So
awesome.
I love that there's Marvel out there in Disney
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
incorporated
Like
into the
like
shows
the
and
wheel
stuff.
like does like the Doctor Strange thing.
Oh, that's
And it like
cool.
lights up red. So freaking cool. I love everything Marvel.
Gosh, oh man, that's
excited.
awesome.
I'm going on
And
my
there is-
I'm
next
excited.
All
trip.
right. So now
It's really
that makes me want to go.
Yeah, it's
All
really
right.
cool. And then the fireworks show is, like I said, absolutely hits you in the feels. Starts with Walt Disney, ends with Walt Disney
Yep.
and Winnie the Pooh. No spoilers what he says,
Aw.
but like right in the feels. So good.
Yay.
So as we wrap up here a little bit, I wanna ask, because you mentioned the president of Disneyland.
Yeah.
You must have seen some really high profile people out in Disneyland for the Disney 100. Yes, no. Who did? And now you don't have to tell us, but
So here's the
yes, you
thing.
do.
Big Disney people.
The Disney community is just like different. So like I feel like it used to be like they would invite like celebrities, right? Like I remember like there were so many celebrities walking around when we went for the 50th because they were filming something. And that like I'm not even gonna try to say the names because it was like when all the rappers were so cool and they all had their but this time it was a lot of quote unquote influencers off of social media
Sure.
that were walking around. So like if that's like your jam and you love watching them and that kind of thing, there you go. I mean, I'm sure you would have to live under a rock to not see a lot of the content that's being pushed out because they did let I mean, it was the same like experiences that we got to go into. They brought in those people to, you know, get their pictures and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it was a lot. It was kind of weird. Like we were kind of expecting more, you know, celebrity level, like CEOs of companies and stuff. We didn't see that. It was a lot more just like media that was at this
Right.
event. But we did get to meet the president of Disneyland.
That's
So-
really cool.
What was
That's
funny is I'm sitting at this table of all these like, you know, people that I shouldn't say like deserve to be there, but I'm just there to take pictures, right? I felt very out of my element. And he comes over and like puts his hands on my shoulders and I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I am, but hey, here's my selfie.
Now, one of the, you know, and I would just say, like, you know, as we wrap, one of the reasons, you know, we, you know, at Marvelous Mouse Travels did get invited to this event is the agency recently reached the highest or the top level of Disney earmark, which is the diamond, which is incredible,
And
right?
that is not an easy feat.
Yes.
No.
So and with that, I would say, you know, one of the reasons why I think it's good if you're looking at planning a trip to either Disneyland or Walt Disney World, or if you're going on a Disney cruise, or if you're going to Alani, because I know 2 of us 4 will be going to Alani here in a couple weeks. I think it would be very prudent for you to reach out to us at Marvelous Mouse Travels.
Mhm.
You know, and you know, of course, we can help you plan your next visit out to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, wherever you want to go for the Disney 100. You're gonna have Tron opening here in April at Walt Disney World, so excited for that.
Disney Cruise Line celebrating their 25th.
Yes,
there's a lot
silver-
of celebrations.
Those feelings are going to be so
Silver
cool.
anniversary. Yeah. But
Big year.
well, thank you for sharing your Disneyland, or actually your trip to Disneyland for the
Yes.
Disney 100 celebration, Nikki. You know,
If you have any questions too, drop them in the
jealous.
comments on this
Yeah.
and I'll answer
Yeah.
them. I know there's no way we touched on everything,
Mhm.
but we'll definitely monitor comments. So we'd love to interact.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I think we're going to let you go, and you know, stay tuned for some future segments we got coming out. Which we're going to be doing a series on Disneyland versus Walt Disney World, or Walt Disney World versus Disneyland, whichever one you want to put first. So
Disneyland
we're going to do some fun.
I know which
with
one's
that,
going to win.
We'll see about that. Hey, we have magic bands that actually work, Nikki.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ooh.
We have Cars Land. Mic drop. That's all we have to say.
Listen, we have Animal Kingdom, okay?
I have a zoo.
It's not Animal Kingdom's fault, okay? It's not Animal Kingdom's fault, all right?
Figure's not
But
better.
yeah, so we're definitely going to duke it out here in the next couple of segments, you know, for this, because I know this is a passionate subject. But either way, we thank you for joining us, and we hope you will tune in next time and enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.